The Mariners have tasked fans with deciding the 50 best players in team history. Today, we're going to fill out our ballot. Colby, hit it.
You are Locked On Mariners, your daily Seattle Mariners podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Ahoy, sailors. It is Wednesday, December 3rd, 2025. You're listening to the Locked On Mariners podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, now the #1 sports podcast network. My name is Gonzales, and I'm joined as always by my co-host Colby Patnode. We're two lifelong Mariners fans who've been covering the team for over half a decade. And on today's show, with the Mariners' 50th season right around the corner, the team has put out a ballot for fans to vote for the 50 best players in franchise history. So we're going to fill out ours. But before we do, I want to shout out our title sponsor today, FanDuel. If you want to be right in the middle of the action this season, visit FanDuel.com and place your NFL live bets all season long. So yes, the Mariners' 50th anniversary is coming up, and the Mariners have a lot planned for it, including the 50 best Mariners of all time list, taking a little bit of inspiration from what the Seahawks did this year with their 50th year celebration, where they did their top 50 players. So they're having fans vote, they're having media vote, and they're also having members of the organization vote on this thing. So today we're going to do our part. They put out a ballot a couple of weeks ago. It's live on the Mariners website. I think it's live until
February 7th.
Yeah, or February 20th, 5 o'clock. Yeah.
Yep.
So you got some time, but if you want to play along with us, vote now. The link will be in the description of this episode. So all you have to do is click that. So let's get into it. All right. So I think we should get this out of the way real quick. Colby, when was what was the first Mariners season you consciously remember watching?
2001.
Same. So that's kind of as far back as our personal experience with the club goes. Mm-hmm. Anything prior to that were more so, obviously we don't need to really have much of a discussion about King Griffey Jr. or sure. Alvin Davis, right? But when it comes to some of the guys, from the 70s and the 80s, not as much the 90s, but specifically the 70s and 80s, or more so going to go off of production numbers, stuff like that, to inform our decisions. There's obviously a couple of guys that are an exception to that have gone beyond that we obviously know of, but yeah, I just wanted to make that clear. I think the easiest way to start this thing off is just to go over the guys that we consider locks for this list. So sure. I have 61 guys on my list in total. That includes 26 guys I consider locks. Plus there's the one guy that we're choosing as our guy to kind of campaign for as well. But we'll get into that a little bit
who
later.
That is already, but
yeah. If you listen to yesterday's show, we already said it. So yeah, let's just go through this locks list. So Cal Raleigh and Dan Wilson, I think those are the locks on the catcher spots. Edgar, Nelson Cruz, those are my locks in the DH spot. Just tell me no so I don't select these guys on who I think is locked. So if you don't think so. So A-Rod, right? Yep. Alvin Davis, obviously. Let's see here. JP Crawford.
Yeah, I have him.
Okay, cool. John Olerud.
Nope.
Okay, interesting. Kyle Seeger.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's it for the infielders for me. I got Ichiro on here. Yep. Jay Buhner.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Julio.
Yep.
Okay. Griffey, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Cammy.
Yep.
Okay. Raul.
Yep.
Okay. Where is he? Mitch Haniger.
Mm-mm.
Okay, interesting. All right. And then pitchers, I got Felix. Where is he? There's Felix.
Yep.
Randy Johnson, of course. Mm-hmm. I was kind of all over the place when I made this list, so I kind of have to scroll up and down here. Freddie Garcia.
No.
Okay, interesting. Jamie Moyer.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Mike Moore.
No.
Okay. Eric Hansen.
Yep.
Okay. Hansen. All right. Mark Langston.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Jeff Nelson.
Yep.
Okay. Arthur Rhodes.
Nope.
Okay. JJ Putz.
Nope.
Okay. So the reason that I put JJ Putz and Arthur Rhodes on there, along with Jeff Nelson, those three guys, they're the only three relievers in Mariners history that are both top 5 in innings pitched and F4.
Mm-hmm. The relievers are just kind of weird because, again, they just don't have like the staying power, like they just don't. They throw 175 games. It's like cool, but that's over 3 seasons. Whereas a 1 year of Raul Ibanez, he plays 150 games, and so the relievers are tough. I know we're going to have some relievers on the list, but I just didn't want to lock in many of them as locks because, there might be an argument to be made like, hey, we want to get this extra infielder in there. Like, are we really going to let, Arthur Rhodes be the difference there? I don't know. So, certainly all those guys that aren't on my list are deserving and probably ultimately end up on our group list. I just didn't think that they were like locks. Like I think you can make an argument that somebody else might be a little bit more deserving. But
Sure.
Obviously, there's going to be a couple people who get left off. That's just kind of the way it works.
Sure. So, all right. So we're at 20 right now. So we got 30 spots open for the rest of the list. So, was there anyone on your list that I didn't have?
Nope.
No. Okay, cool. So let's just talk about these final 6 guys that I had as locks. So Mitch Haniger. I mean, if we're talking about Mitch Haniger as a future Mariners Hall of Famer, I think he has to be on the top 50 list.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'd probably end up voting for him anyways. But I think to me, if Mitch Haniger is on there, we probably have to pick Harold Reynolds as well.
Okay, that's fine. Harold was on he was on my maybes.
Yeah, I think so. So, Haniger is.
How do those two guys correlate though for you?
Well, I mean, just like look, Harold Reynolds was one of the bigger players for the team in the 80s, though he was never the best player on the team. He was in an era that didn't see a ton of success, just like Haniger. And I think that he was a bigger deal to the city of Seattle than he was to baseball in general. They both had long careers in Seattle. Reynolds led the league in stolen bases, something Haniger hadn't led the league in anything. So
sure.
I just look at those and I look, if we're including the guys who were good, but not great for, more than 5 or 6 years here in Seattle. Then,
and by the way, spoiler alert, there's going to be a lot of that on this list.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, I just think that, if we're going to go with players who are probably more valued for like them as Mariners more so than their production, you know what I mean? Like, not that Reynolds or Haniger weren't productive players. They were. It's just that like they're a little bit more like those guys are Mariners and they are like those guys are all-stars, great players, elite players, or anything like that. So just kind of a vibe of like, yeah, like kind of the reason you vote for JP, honestly, where it's like JP, really good shortstop. Is he like an elite player? Has he ever been like an all-star caliber player for Seattle? Maybe once, maybe. But I just think Harold Reynolds is just kind of an iconic part of the Mariners too. Better or worse. But I think Harold and Mitch were going to be on our top 50 regardless, to be honest. So I don't think there's really any harm of just knocking those two out right now.
All right, we are going to hammer out the rest of this list in just a moment. But first, a reminder, this episode of the Locked On Mariners podcast is brought to you by both FanDuel and Doer. NFL Sundays move fast. One big play and suddenly everything feels different. That's what makes live betting with FanDuel so exciting. You're not just watching the game, you're reacting to it in real time. With FanDuel, you can place bets as the action unfolds. Every drive, every momentum swing, every highlight moment. Live betting is best when the game starts to shift, a receiver gets hot, a defense tightens up, or the momentum flips after a turnover. FanDuel lets you jump into the moment as live spreads and money lines adjust instantly and player props update as guys heat up. You can bet next touchdown scores, drive results, totals, and more. It keeps you locked into every snap, every drive, every possibility. So if you want to be right in the middle of the action this season, visit FanDuel.com and place your NFL live bets all season long. FanDuel, the game moves fast, and so can you. Sailors, I got to tell you, I love a good pair of jeans, but I'm also very particular about my jeans. You know, I need the fit to be right. If they're blue jeans, especially, there's a very particular shade of light blue I'm looking for. And of course, I need them to be comfortable, right? I mean, that's the name of the game. And well, I just got my first pair of jeans from Doer, and they check off every single box. I got the Performance Denim Slims as well as a Pure Pima Vintage Pocket Tee, and they're both getting added to my regular rotation. Doer jeans have 5 times the stretch of traditional denim. They're antibacterial, meaning your jeans stay fresh longer so you can wear more and wash less. And they're made with CoolMax, which regulates your body temperature and wicks moisture. And Doer combines classic jeans wear with the kind of comfort and performance you get from athletic wear. So it's the best of both worlds. And Doer are pioneers of blending technical innovation with everyday clothing. They invented the original performance denim. So simply put, Doer makes the world's most comfortable pants without having to sacrifice style. Trust me, once you try these, they'll be your go-to. Get a pair for yourself or as an amazing holiday gift. Go now to shopdoer.com/lockedonseattle. You'll get 15% off your first order. That's shop DUER.com/lockedonseattle for 15% off. Shopdoer.com/lockedonseattle. And you're listening to the Locked On Mariners podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Thank you so much for making us your first listen. And also thank you for making Locked On the #1 sports podcast network. We are filling out our ballot for the top 50 Mariners of all time. We got 22 names on here so far. And right now we're going through my list of who I consider to be locks for this list. Going through the names that Colby didn't have on his locks list. So Freddie Garcia. I think Freddie has to be on here.
Yeah, Freddie was on my next group of 20 players or so that we were like, yeah, probably have to vote for that guy. But if somebody left him off the ballot, I think they could possibly explain themselves. One thing that people might do, not to take this too seriously, but Edgar is going to be on the team. So why does he need my vote? You know who might need my vote? Raul Ibanez or whatever.
It's the whole Hall of Fame voting.
Right. It's like, well, he's going to get in with 95% of the vote. What difference does it make if he gets 95 or 94? I'm going to vote for this guy so he stays on the ballot. That type of thing, which,
right.
Again, it's taking this awfully seriously, but whatever. It's, do whatever you want with it. It's your ballot.
Sure. Mike Moore. I mean, he's one of the 10 most valuable pitchers in Mariners history by FanGraph standards, but also, that's retroactively putting a valuation on him, right? That wasn't done in real time.
Yes, when we talk about hey, who are the all-time great Mariners? Does Mike Moore ever come into your head?
No, but again, I do want to show some love to
I'm totally
that era.
I know he's a really good pitcher.
Yeah,
for a few years, so I'm fine with that.
You're fine with it?
Okay. Yeah, just one of those things where it's like, look, when I was thinking of locks, I'm thinking hey, when we talk about the best Mariners of all time,
sure,
these names are coming up. So that's kind of what my locks list were. And then there's other guys who are these guys are probably coming up, but they might also end up being in that category where you're hey, you remember how good this guy was? You're oh yeah, he was really good. And that's kind of where Freddie is.
John Olerud, you didn't have him on, right?
No. So here's the thing with Olerud.
His time in Seattle, though, was just so good.
Yeah, but so was Tino Martinez, and nobody thinks Tino Martinez is a lock.
Not as good as John Olerud.
It's pretty freaking good.
His last 2 years, sure. But Olerud had 4 really good years in Seattle.
I think Tino Martinez falls into the Adrian Beltre category, where he was better elsewhere. And so people kind of downgrade how well he played for you here. when he was here. So like I think that's part of it.
Olerud
Olerud,
was
I don't know.
He was an all-star here.
Yeah, is Olerud a bit more qualified than Ty France though? Like,
Yes.
I don't know. Like numbers wise, sure, but like obviously this
Yeah.
isn't just about numbers. So, and we saw Ty France play, we saw John Olerud play. So, I think we have that context of those players. Whereas we didn't really see Tino Martinez play, so now it's like, oh, we have to rely solely on the numbers and all that. So, Olerud is not a guy I'm willing to just definitely put on the list. I think he'll probably end up being on the list, though. That would be my hunch.
If we're just going off of numbers, Olerud's second and third seasons in Seattle were better than Tino Martinez's best season in Seattle.
Sure. Let me ask you this. Was Brett Boone on your lock list?
No, but for a different reason.
Why is John Olerud? Oh, now we're counting steroid users. Okay, so take Nelson Cruz off your list.
Well, because I think there is a discussion to be had there.
I think there's a big discussion to be had with John Olerud. Again, we have to get to 50.
Yeah.
I think Olerud will eventually get on. I just didn't think that he was like a slam dunk, no brainer. We have to move on. Okay. Like he's not even worth a discussion. But
okay, so we're leaving him off for now.
I mean,
we're gonna circle back on him.
My hunch is that he'll end up on our ballot by the end of this.
Okay. All right. So the two relievers, Arthur Rhodes and JJ Putz. You just want to leave them off for now and circle back.
I see how many slots we have, I guess. It's kind of interesting you have Rhodes and Putz, but not Diaz or Munoz.
Again, it's just because longevity and value.
Sure, but Munoz is under contract for another 3 years. Like you know that he's going to end.
Well, he's on my maybes. I got a lot of maybes here.
Right. I think the relievers, it's just kind of like, hey, let's see how many spots we have. Because I just feel like if we end up having to cut like 11, 12, 15 names, however many it is, the relievers are probably first to go. But, we might as well fill them in now so we know how many we have to cut. So let's vote. Yeah, let's lock in Rhodes.
Okay.
We can lock in Putz. That's fine. But I think then we have to lock in either Munoz or Diaz.
I'm fine locking in both.
Okay.
Frankly.
Let's just lock those guys in.
All right, so let's go Mooney.
Again, we have to make some cuts. They're probably going to come from the bullpen, unfortunately.
Sure. Okay, so what are we at right now? Let's scroll down. We're at 28. Okay, so I'm just going to go down my list of maybes, and you just stop me if you want to talk about a guy.
Okay.
Adrian Beltre.
That's a yes for me.
Yeah. Let's just put him in.
Like, we kind of alluded to this, like Beltre is in one of those weird cases where like his stop in Seattle was like the worst stretch of his career and he was still really freaking good. Plus he's Adrian Beltre. Like, come on.
You know what? So, let's talk about guys like that real quick. So there's Beltre, there's Robinson Cano.
That's an easy yes for me as well.
That's an easy yes for me as well. Yes, obviously it didn't end well. It ended with the suspension and all that, but he is a top 10 position player by WAR, Mariners history.
To mention, he's arguably like a top 5 second baseman in baseball history, and he played here for 5 years, and he was really good in those 5 years. Like,
so
that's a no-brainer to me.
Yeah, Robinson Cano is on this list. Then there's like the weird ones where it feels like cheating that they're even on this list. It's like Goose Gossage and Ricky Henderson. Yeah, those guys, right? Like they're not on my maybes list even.
The thing that's tough with Ricky is that like undoubtedly in terms of like who are the best players who have ever worn a Mariners uniform, Ricky Henderson is on that list. Ricky Henderson's one of the best players ever. But he was only here for like 60 games.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like in his prime even. So like to me, Ricky Henderson's not on my list either. I wish he would be, but I can't make it make sense in my head that a guy who was here for 60 games and like wasn't, an all-star quality player is going to be in our top 50. I don't know.
Yeah. Brett Boone, even though he's on my maybes list, like he's pretty much a lock for me. Like,
I don't see how you leave him off.
Yeah. Yeah, I get it. The steroid stuff, whatever. I mean, on top of just destroying baseballs, he was also a Gold Glove caliber defender at second base. Like, yeah, that's
he had
a
like
no
3 or 4 incredible years here. And also, again, if you're going to knock him for steroid use, then you have to take Nelson Cruz off the list, and that is not happening.
Yeah. So Harold Reynolds was on here. So Carlos Guillen also kind of falls into the
Better after he left.
Beltre, thing.
Yeah.
So I don't know about him. Here's an interesting one. Gino.
Yeah, to me, Gino is kind of like he falls in with the Naylor and the Ricky Henderson and like the Gene Segura, where it's just like Polo, maybe even, where it's just like he hasn't been here as long as a lot of these guys on this list, but like the impact in the time that he has been here has been so great that it's tough to kind of,
I definitely don't want to lump him together with Gene Segura.
No, but you know what I mean? It's just like Segura was really good when he was here.
Sure.
He was only here for 2 years. Like he doesn't have a ton of memorable moments or anything like that, where Gino does have memorable moments, but they're both here for only, a short time, and they're both very valuable players when they were here. So like the personalities are very different, but their like actual value that they gave Seattle when they were here, pretty similar, if we're being honest. So
Gino just so beloved by this fan base. So I mean, he's got to be like one of the most beloved Mariners of all time.
Sure.
So I kind of feel like he has to be on this list, but we can circle back. Mike Blowers.
Is Mike Blowers making this team because he was a pretty good player for a couple of years, or because he was in the broadcast booth for 15? Okay, I didn't watch Blowers play. I know. I can look at the numbers. He was pretty good. Obviously, the numbers are a bit difficult to interpret because he played in the steroid era. Not that he took steroids, but just like numbers we would look at and be like, wow, that's really good relative to the era he played in. They were fine. But I don't. My thing with Blowers, the reason I'm hesitant to put him on here is I feel like a large chunk of what he brings to the table is what he's done in the broadcast booth, and we're trying to pick the 50 best players, not the 50 best, just Mariners affiliated people. So Blowers is a tough one for me.
Okay, so Gene Segura, Joey Cora, Bruce Bhakti, Dylan Moore.
I mean, is Mark McLemore on your maybes list?
Yes.
Okay, then I guess it's fair to have Dylan Moore on there.
Yeah. Robinson, we already put him in. Ty France.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. Franklin Gutierrez.
Yep.
Maybe. I think we can. I think we should put him on here.
I mean, we'll see. Put him on there for now. But I think he's probably one of those guys that, like, if we have to make a cut, might have a conversation there. God, I wish he was healthy.
Yeah.
What about the two Randys?
Yeah, the two Randys. That's who I have next on my list.
Randy, kind of in the Gino,
a Rosarena, you mean?
Like, well, yeah, just like Randy and Gino are pretty similar. They're big personalities. They're, pretty well loved by the fan base, and they've been here for a pretty short time, but they've each had some pretty big moments for the Mariners. And how do you counteract that against somebody who was here for like ever and was pretty good, but not like elite? You know what I mean? Like how do you weigh the short term versus the like, hey, this guy was pretty good for 8 years versus, hey, this guy was really good for 3, So
yeah, I love Randy, and I also love Randy Wynn. So
Randy Wynn is really good.
This is going to be a tough one for me to not put either of those guys on, or only one of them on.
Well, let's just put them on, and then again, if we have to, I think it's probably easier we just put guys on, and then we're just like, okay, now we have to eliminate some dudes. That's probably the best way to go about this.
All right, let me find the Randys. There they are. Okay. Phil Bradley. That's my last position player on here.
Yeah. I don't have a good frame of reference for him. Like, I can look at the numbers.
He had a pretty high peak.
Yeah, I'm looking at the numbers right now. Yeah, like 3 years with an 850 OPS.
Yeah.
Not really a home run hitter, but pretty good doubles, hit for a high average, drew a lot of walks. Like, again, Bradley's one of those guys that feels like unfair, where it's like, look, if I watched him play, probably just based on the numbers, but I didn't watch him play, so it's tough for me to really put that into a frame of kind of like Rupert Jones. I know he was like a big all-star for the Mariners and all that, but it's like, I don't know. I don't have, same with Tartable. He was a star for Seattle, a young star, and then they traded him pretty early. Dave Henderson, kind of in the Mike Blowers mold, where it's like, is he in because of what he did as a player for the Mariners or because he was in the broadcast booth for like a decade, Because Henderson was one of those guys who was much better after he left Seattle than when he was here. But, put the Randys in there for now.
Yeah.
And, Bradley, fine. Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Phil Bradley. All right.
Yeah.
Let's find him and add him. All right. Boom. There we go. So we're at 35 out of 50. So we got 15 more spots open for now. And you're listening to the Locked On Mariners podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. As always, if you want to hear from me and Colby even more and help support the show, we have a Patreon. It's called Control the Zone, and on there we talk Mariners, Seahawks, all that good stuff. For more information, go to patreon.com/Control the Zone. Link in the description. And this episode is kind of like a condensed CTZ episode. This is typically some type of stuff that we would get up to over there. So if you like this kind of stuff, then sign up for the Patreon. All right, so we are at 35 out of 50 players on our top 50 Mariners list. So just continuing to go through my list of maybes here. Now on the pitcher side of things, just stop me if there's a guy you want to talk about here. Kasasaki, Mike Jackson. I'm doing the relievers first before the starters. Do you want me to do the starters first?
They're not listed as starter and reliever, so I kind of got to jump around on the ballot.
I think Cass has to be on here.
Sure, that's fine. I think we should start with the pitchers. I think very simple question here. How many of the current 5 are making this lineup?
So I have 4 of them on my maybes. Logan Gilbert and George Kirby are already top 10 in terms of like F4 in team history. So
I think Luis has to be on there.
Yeah, he's already pitched in so many big games for them.
Yeah.
The trade for him was such a huge deal. Yeah, I think Luis has to be on here. And I think Logan and George have already done enough to get on this list. Woo, not yet. And I didn't even have Bryce on.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm just look. If we're going to put like Floyd Bannister on here and not George Kirby or Logan Gilbert, I'm going to get mad.
Okay. Then I guess we're just putting freaking Gil Mesh on here too. Gaylord Perry.
Relax.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm fine putting 4, although like Kirby to me.
Not 4, 3. Gilbert, no, Castillo, and Kirby. No, I don't think Woo's done enough yet.
Like if this was like 2 years in the future, then he'd probably be on it.
Yeah. I just don't think.
All right. That's fine.
It's time yet. But Logan and George, I think they've done enough.
To me, now there's a discussion between like 3 like loved Mariner starters.
Yeah.
Who probably,
Marco, Pax, and Kuma.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I think Kuma has to be on here.
Oh God, he was so good.
He was
should have won a Cy Young.
Has the no-hitter.
Yeah. Let's throw him on there.
Yeah. He has to be
Paxton
on there.
Also has a no-hitter.
He does. I was there for
Paxton's,
that. So I have a personal attachment to James Paxton.
Paxton's kind of like Franklin Gutierrez, where you're just like, oh man, imagine if he'd stayed healthy.
Yeah.
So Pax,
this
Big
one,
Maple.
This one, I'm obviously very biased towards James Paxton. Like, if I was just doing this list on my own, I'd be like, absolutely.
Throw him on there, and again, he might be one of the first guys that gets axed.
Okay. Right.
Marco is so tough.
Where is he? Yeah, Marco. Because you and I you know, the step back, the retooling, the rebuild, whatever. And Marco was such a huge part of that. Like, again, this is another, like, I'm very biased. I have a very personal attachment to Marco Gonzales. So, like, if I'm just doing this list on my own, I'm like, yeah, absolutely, he's on here. But
all right, that's fine.
All right, Marco Gonzales is on here. All right, so yeah,
I think, you know, keeping in our like group of threes here, I see three relievers who don't quite have the longevity, but certainly have like the hearts of Mariner fans.
Now, keep in mind, we need to keep one spot open for our guy that we're campaigning for.
Yep.
But we'll talk about that later.
Do you know who the three guys I'm talking about are?
For what? Again?
The relief pitchers who probably don't have quite the track record, the length that you would like, but are just like absolute fan favorites.
So Paul.
Yep.
Sewald.
Mm-hmm.
Who else?
Matt Brash.
Yeah, I didn't put him on my maybes.
And Norm Charlton.
Yeah, I have Norm on here. Yeah.
Yeah.
The big reason for not having
on there too.
A big reason for not having Brash on here was him missing last year, and then like this year he was good, but he wasn't Matt Brash.
Sure, but Brash is objectively better than Paul Sewald.
Yeah.
But I don't like. It's tough for me to put Sewald on this list and not put Brash, or the other way around.
Yeah. That's a good point. All right, let's wrap up on the starting pitchers real quick, and then we'll circle back to that conversation. So the other guys that I have on here, Floyd Bannister, Jared Washburn, Matt Young, Jim. Any of those guys?
Bannister, maybe.
Yeah. Bannister is like a top 15, like most valuable pitcher in Mariners history.
Strikeout dude.
Yeah, I'm fine with putting Bannister on here just to show love to that era.
Sure. Yeah, I think that's the only guy.
Bill Swift was a guy that that I could just kind of flip-flopped on. Like, is he going to be on my maybes? I don't know.
Again, like, understand the era that Ty and I watched. Bill Swift doesn't mean anything to us. So,
yeah, like that just goes completely over my head. Right. So, yeah.
So, you understand some people are probably going to get left off of our list just because we didn't watch them play.
Yeah. Some of you who have been watching the Mariners since they got to Seattle, like, you're probably like, no, absolutely, that guy needs to be on here. So sorry, this is just, our frame of reference.
Feel free to vote for him.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be upset if he makes the top 50.
Yeah, like, that's why I made the disclaimer that I did at the start of the show. Yeah. All right, so we are at 43 out of 50 right now. So let's circle back on that reliever conversation. So Norm, Paul, Brash. I also have Mike Jackson on here.
You could throw Tom Wilhelmsen in there.
Yeah. There's also him and like Furbush and those guys from the mid 2010s bullpen. Yeah.
Well, we already have one representative from that group coming up, so
yeah,
it's a really good bullpen though. Again, my thing with Mike Jackson is just that, like,
RIP.
Yeah, I didn't see Mike Jackson pitch, so like I can look at his statistics and I can be like, yeah, he's pretty good here.
I mean, he was one of the best relievers in team history, just statistically.
Yep. So, but again, I don't have that frame of reference, but like the numbers are the numbers. Like it'd be pretty hard.
No love for Bobby Ayala, Colby?
What's that?
No love for Bobby Ayala, Colby?
I don't know who that is. So
he is technically the sixth most valuable reliever in Mariners history by F4.
I mean, WAR is not a perfect stat.
It's not a perfect stat. No. I mean, his overall numbers not terrible. I mean, the ERA is bad, but like 917 Ks per 9, 363 walks per 9. That's fine.
By the way,
396
I would just like to point out that if Bobby Ayala is on this list, the disrespect to not have one of the best closers in Mariners history, Steve Cishek, on this list is absurd. You talk about iconic moments. Excuse me, the wild pitch on Sunday Night Baseball in Chicago. It doesn't get any more wild than that. Like that is iconic.
That's right.
So
That's right.
the disrespect has been noted.
Hey, what about Shiggy? That's right.
Yeah.
And Shiggy.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, no.
Like, yeah, but no.
Yeah, like I don't know. There's some of these other guys like Gabe Spire.
Yeah.
Mark Lowe, David Aardsma.
The DA, yeah.
Yeah. Nick Vincent actually had a really nice career in Seattle.
Very solid.
Yeah. Is Rafael Soriano on this list?
He is, but like not
he
in my
is.
top 50.
Yeah, no.
Brandon League, also another guy. Pretty good.
Yeah. Just the relievers are so tough. I feel like the relievers who do make it kind of have to be closers. And if they weren't closers, like they had to be really freaking good. Like,
I mean,
absolute standouts.
That describes Matt Brash.
Well, that to me more so like describes like Jeff Nelson, but sure.
Yeah, well, I mean, statistically speaking, they're probably pretty close on like a per game pitched basis. But like Sewald and Charlton were both closers.
I mean, if you want to put Matt Brash on here, that's fine. I won't hold you on that.
Again, it's tough for me to be like, oh yeah, definitely Norm Charlton, who statistically was only pretty good here, but not Matt Brash, just because Matt Brash doesn't have a save.
Well, I mean,
like if the Mariners employed
traditional, are we mostly just going with production here?
I mean, I think for the most part, yeah.
Okay, because like if we're going beyond that, because like Norm Charlton, pretty iconic player, like in terms of like, you know, the history of the Mariners, especially the totally 90s Mariners. So yeah.
So like, but he's also pretty good. Just not, you know, quite as good as like the legend would have you believe.
So do you want to put these three guys on here? Norm, Paul, and Brash? Just for now?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, we're running out of time, so we kind of have to make some firm decisions. So I say yes on those three.
Yeah.
And then what does that leave us with?
So that leaves us with 4 spots. So
okay. Well, who counting our lock?
Yeah, so 3 spots, not counting our lock. Yeah.
Are you counting? Did we count Gino? I don't remember.
No. So Ty France is not on here yet. Gino's not on here yet. Mark McLemore's not on here. John Olerud's not on here.
Jesus.
Yeah. So we're probably gonna have we're probably going to have to cut a couple of relievers. Yeah, Gino's not on here.
No Joey Cora.
No Joey Cora.
Guillen.
No Segura.
No Zanino.
Josh Naylor. I feel like
Josh Naylor's going to make the team, and that one I will legitimately be like, come on, guys. Like, not mad, just a little disappointed. Like,
no,
really?
I love Josh. I love Josh,
but
it's been it's been 2.5 months.
When you do the 60-year anniversary and you pick the top 60, not that they'll do that, but you know what I mean. Like, no brainer. Yep, I would be shocked if Josh Naylor wasn't on that. But you're doing a top 50, and he was here for 54 games plus the 12 in the playoffs. Like, let's at least a full year, guys.
Will it let us go over? Like, can I just like click a bunch of names and it'll let us go over, and then it does. It does, and then we can cut after that. Cool.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I wasn't saying let's just vote for 55, but like, that's just for like to make things easy on me. All right. So like, let's see here. Ty France. You want to put Tino on here?
I feel like it's either Tino or John, and I'm fine going with John over Tino if you have that strong of a preference.
Yes,
I just think it's closer than people want to admit. But like, yeah, Olerud's really good. Plus, he's a Washington guy, like, so that helps. Yeah. Kind of the thing with Gino, it's like if we pick him, he's not going to be able to be at the thing.
I mean, how many of these guys are going to be at the thing?
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, a lot of them are retired.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like Gino just kind of has to be.
Yeah. Yeah. He's just so beloved. He's so beloved. David Bell. We didn't really talk about him. No. Yeah.
Solid player.
Guillen, you're cool with leaving off, right?
Yeah, well, I'm a big Guillen fan, but he was just
so much better in Detroit than he was in Seattle.
He was solid here, but he wasn't. No.
Yeah.
Just doesn't make the cut.
Segura,
Bochy, Ken Phelps, probably guys we're overlooking because of the era, but
Segura.
I'm fine leaving Segura off.
Polo. I didn't mention him, but it was only one good year, so
I'm fine.
Like it's more than Naylor, but
some truly iconic hits though in only the 1 year.
Yeah, that's a good point.
But like again, if we were doing just iconic hits, where's Leo Rivas, guys?
Yeah, exactly. That's a very good point. Eligible player criteria here. This is from the Mariners themselves. Must have one of the following: played 4+ seasons in Seattle, has 1+ All-Star appearance, currently leads or near the top in major Mariners statistical categories, or part of an iconic moment. Leo Rivas tying that game on his birthday is not an iconic moment.
Mm-hmm. Shame on you, Mariners. You can write people in, by the way, on the next slide. So I guess if you really want to write in Leo Rivas. Carlos Santana.
That's who we're campaigning for. We're campaigning for Leo Rivas.
No, we're not. Carlos Santana. Iconic moments. David Segui was pretty good, but I'm not saying he should be on the top 50, but he was pretty good actually. Jim Presley, I know he's you go back and you look at Presley's numbers, you're like, really? This is what passed for a star for the Mariners in the 80s.
Well, slim pickings.
Yeah, I mean, I get it, but again, don't get me wrong. I understand why the 80s are underrepresented, but Langston, first year of Edgar, Randy, Harold, Alvin, they're, we should probably give a little more love to the 80s. Honestly, we probably should have saved this conversation for Gary Hill.
Yeah, but this is our ballot. This isn't Gary's ballot.
That's true. Yeah, McLemore and Soho are Blowers also kind of Ty France.
So let me make
what
sure.
What are we
at? We're at 49, so we have the spot open for our guy. Yeah. I'm just trying to see if there's anyone else.
Gutierrez, did we put him on?
Yeah, we put Goody on here.
Okay, I didn't.
So let's just scroll through the pictures real quick. You looking at the screen?
I was looking at my own ballot because it's easier than I'm not great with faces, so
yeah, sure. I don't really see anyone here. Rowan Esalios being on here is funny. We should put him on here for the Sean Barber stare, the death stare.
Look, we got to get going.
Yeah.
So I think it's just time to start our candidacy, or start a campaign for our number 50 guy. But there are probably, I think, about 10 guys that we could really debate. Probably 5 guys who are off the ballot right now and 5 guys who are on the ballot that we could really have a good debate about. And maybe we rejoin this discussion later. I don't think there's going to be shortage of opportunities to need content this winter where we can just be like, hey, let's take a look at some of the best battles for the top 50 Mariners or whatever. But I think we need to wrap this. So, Ty, who are we stumping for the next 3 months? Yeah.
Fernando Rodney, baby.
He is the locked on Mariners candidate of change. Fernando Rodney, top 50 Seattle Mariner of all time. Yes, he was only good for a year. Doesn't matter. He is Fernando.
It was an amazing
Rodney.
Year. He is Fernando Rodney, and he is pitching 20 minutes away from me in a Canadian baseball league
in a Canadian
that is filled with guys who are Toronto police officers.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yes, Fernando Rodney is just a legend. Okay.
Yeah.
Fernando, the changeup, the arrow, the great commercial. Where he deflates the bounce house at the A's.
Rodney,
that's our campaign slogan right there. Rodney.
The arrow is a real dude. Nah, bro, it is.
It is. So Fernando Rodney.
I miss Lomo. I wish Lomo was involved with the club in some way. I love Lomo.
Yeah, Lomo was fun too. Yeah. Maybe we'll do like top 10, like, or maybe that's a good wheel, like just the vibiest Mariners, like best vibe Mariners.
Lomo
like
had
Morrison
great
might
vibes.
be on that list. Yeah.
He had some anger issues, but he also had some great vibes.
I can never remember how many outs there were. By the way, Logan Morrison had one of the most iconic hits in Mariners history that didn't lead to anything, but he scored Austin Jackson on the double as they were trying to stay alive for game 162. Didn't make the list. Okay. Just seems a little inconsistent here, Mariners. But
you didn't think we would mention Logan Morrison on this episode, did you?
I always think about Logan Morrison. By the way, fun fact, Logan Morrison, one of my mother's all-time favorite players.
There you go. So, so the Rodney thing, like, we wanted to come up with one guy who probably wasn't going to get enough love from the general public that we wanted to kind of stump for. Doesn't make sense relative to some other guys. Like, should Bruce Bhakti be over Fernando Rodney? Probably. But whatever. This is our list, not yours. If you want to make your own list, click the link in the description and go vote right now.
We're having fun. Just remember, there are only 2 Mariners in the club's history who have saved 48 or more games, and Fernando Rodney is one of them. And as we know, saves are the most important stat in baseball.
That's right. All right, so let's quickly go over our top 50. So Cal Raleigh, Dan Wilson, Edgar Martinez, Nelson Cruz, Adrian Beltre, Alex Rodriguez, Alvin Davis, Brett Boone, Eugenio Suarez, Harold Reynolds, JP Crawford, John Olerud, Kyle Seeger, Robinson Cano, Ty France, Franklin Gutierrez, Ichiro Suzuki, Jay Buhner, Julio Rodriguez, King Griffey Jr., Mike Cameron, Mitch Haniger, Phil Bradley, Randy Arozarena, Randy Wynn, Raul Ibanez, Andres Munoz, Arthur Rhodes. Got to scroll a little bit until we find the next guy. Edwin Diaz, Eric Hansen, Felix Hernandez, Fernando Rodney, Floyd Bannister, Freddie Garcia, George Kirby, Hisashi Iwakuma, JJ Putz, James Paxton, Jamie Moyer, Jeff Nelson, Kazuhiro Sasaki, Logan Gilbert, Luis Castillo, Marco Gonzales, Mark Langston, Matt Brash, Mike Moore, Norm Charlton, Paul Sewald, Randy Johnson, and that's it. So there you have it. The top 50 Mariners of all time, according to us, which means it's the definitive list. Right, Colby?
Yes, there's most definitely no way that anybody can possibly hate on our list or improve on it.
There are no holes to be poked here in this list.
No,
none,
absolutely
none whatsoever.
As we know, the top 50 players of a franchise is set in stone. There is an easy and obvious answer, and we have cracked it.
It's objective. It's totally objective.
Perfect ballot right there. Boom.
That's right. So tomorrow, there's this Adam Jude article that came out yesterday. So we're going to talk about that tomorrow. I'm sure you guys are wondering our thoughts about what he had to say in that article. Some stuff about Michael Arroyo in there, some stuff about Jorge Polanco, some stuff about Ketel Marte and Brendan Donovan and Brandon Lau. So we'll talk about all of that on tomorrow's episode. But that's going to do it for our show. Thank you so much for joining us here on the Locked On Mariners podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. For Colby Patnode, I'm Titan Gonzales. Be sure to give us a follow on Twitter at LO_Mariners. You can follow me at Titan Gonzales and Colby at CPAT11. That's CPAT11. We're also on Blue Sky. You can follow me at TDG, Colby at MLB Colby, and the show at Locked On Mariners. You can also find us on Instagram at Locked On Mariners. Have yourself a beautiful baseball day, and we'll see you next time. Peace.